What's up guys? Today we're going to walk through an installation of our 17 to 22 Ford Super Duty bumper. This is our all steel full guard bumper. Even though it's real beefy, all steel, it comes in at only 170 pounds. It works with your sensors, with your camera. It's winch ready, has a 2-inch receiver, and works with whichever kind of fog light your truck has, and it also accepts the aftermarket pods. Let's take a look. Here's what it'll look like once you get it all unboxed. We've got the hardware for installation, which we'll go through in detail, step by step. You have 3 different fog light brackets per side, depending on which fog light setup you have. So if you have the long, narrow LED fog light, you'll use this bracket. If you have the halogen fog light that's a shorter rectangle, it'll be this bracket. And if you do that, we don't have those here today, so I'm going to show you basically, the brackets are stamped with a D or a P for driver or passenger. It bolts here, and the actual light bolts into this bracket, and this little guy goes here. If you have the aftermarket LED pods, it'll be this bracket, and you can mount 2 per side, and this little round hole is for the wiring to go out through the back. If you have the active cruise control, you'll pull out this screen, and you'll bolt your cruise control radar, the sensor, to this bracket, and this little plastic cover will go in front of it all. So this assembly will replace this screen. Okay, we're down here at the truck. The factory bumper is removed. We don't put instructions in our videos for the removal of the factory bumper just to keep the video short and sweet, but you can refer to the other videos for that removal. The only thing you need to save are your tow hooks, and it's not required, but I like using these better than the hardware that we include for this step, and I'll tell you why. These extra long bolts are for this. They go through that original hole in the frame, but I feel like if you want to make it really, really tight, that could potentially end up crushing it. So I personally think a better way to do it is to reuse this little connected bolt, one on each side. To get started, we're going to take our tow hook and pass it through this really beefy mount here and set the whole assembly on the frame horn. Then we're going to use these bolts, or the long ones if you prefer, but I'm going to use these and just get them started so the assembly can't fall off. In your hardware kit, you'll find some of these that are about 2 inches long and some that are closer to 3 inches long. We're going to use the longer ones and drop them down through the original tow hook bolts all the way through the frame. And on the bottom side, we'll put a lock washer and the nut. We'll do that on all 4 spots. You can go ahead and tighten down the 4 top bolts and the 4 side bolts because there's pretty much no adjustment in this part. So go ahead and cinch that down, then we'll prep the bumper. We've got the mounts on and tight. Now we're going to do some bumper prep before we install the bumper. So for us, we've chosen to do the aftermarket LED pods. So again, that's this bracket. We're going to install the pods in the bracket, and then we'll install the bracket into the bumper with these M6 bolts that are about 20 millimeters long. After that, we're going to install the winch. We'll do the winch off camera. Just go by the manufacturer's instruction to install the winch and fair lead. We've got our pod lights in, facing straight with the actual truck, which is this slot. If you make your pods perpendicular to the slot, they'll be facing straight forward. Then we're going to install the whole assembly into the bumper. The inner 2 holes are going to go through this main mounting rib right there. The outer 2 holes go into this welded bracket right here. We're going to use these little 6 millimeter bolts with a flat washer. And on the inside, we're going to use one of these serrated lock nuts. Okay, the bumper is fully prepped and we're ready to set it on the truck. We're going to use the rest of those bolts that were about 2 inches long for the installation. As you grab the bumper and set it on the frame, you can actually set the top lip of the bumper on the top of this mount. That way if you need to re-grip or let it rest for a second, all you need to do is just keep the bumper from falling off, but you can hang the weight of it on here. That's what we're going to do. One bolt in each side for safety. At this point, if you have a jack or a lift cart or anything like this, you can use it to support the weight of the bumper to help adjust. And what we're going for, I'm actually going to raise the bumper up a little bit more, is a little bit more than a 1/2 inch. Usually I go until my first knuckle hits or something like that. But in this case, we're going to get all the bolts in and get it adjusted just right and then start tightening the bolts down. We have all the bolts in, and I've tightened one on the other side already because I like the height. Then we leveled out the bumper. I'm about to tighten down this side. Once that's done, I'll double check that the level is good and we'll tighten down the rest of the bolts. That wraps it up. We made sure we liked the adjustment. We went back through and double checked that all the bolts were tight. We connected the harnesses and zip tied up any wires. If you guys have any questions, reach out to us at chandlertruckaccessories.com. Thanks for watching.